Bring in Simon Mabon. He's a lecturer of international relations in the Middle East at Lancaster University. Simon, thank you very much for joining us. How do you defeat an ideology which causes these sort of attacks? It's impossible, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it's certainly a very difficult thing to do. And it's something that us in the West have been trying to do for the past sort of 15, 16 years, I guess, since the attacks of 9/11. And it's been a real struggle. There have been a number of different strategies put in place. And ultimately, it is a difficult thing to defeat an ideology, to defeat a phenomena that is sort of intangible, but that has practical implications, that has real tangible impacts. It's a belief system, and it's really difficult to alter a belief system by any means. And I think trying to actually do that has led to, well, some serious mistakes being made, but also some serious instances taking place on the ground, which has caused even more types of violence and even more people being seduced by this poisonous ideology.
Well, this time the British Prime Minister Theresa May is talking about removing access to or limiting access to the internet for people spreading terrorist propaganda. Could that help to some extent?
Well, perhaps, but that itself is a really difficult thing. There has to be this real balance found between having more restrictions in place for this type of material, but also maintaining free speech and maintaining freedom of expression. But I think what she's done is she's called on the larger internet companies to do more to monitor extremist content and to take it down straight away, rather than taking more of a laissez-faire approach to this type of material. And I think, to be honest, she's right to do that. She's right to say that these private organizations have more of a responsibility. They have to do more about this. They have to do more to stop this type of material being spread.
And what about the people in these communities who may not be taking part in terrorism themselves, but are quietly supporting it, or certainly not condemning it? Has political correctness got in the way? Has society been too allowed them to fill that sort of space with this ideology?
Well, this, I guess, is where it's really difficult to actually say who should be speaking out, who should be saying, look, this is our community and we're sorry for what our community has done. Because it seems crazy to say that all Muslims should speak out to condemn the acts of a number of people in London last night. That doesn't seem quite right at all. That would be akin to someone in the West apologizing for the Crusades, or someone in the UK apologizing for the Iraq War. It doesn't really add up. But then you have to question, to what extent does someone have a right to apologize for a particular community? Is it that community within which an individual resided? Is it their family? Is it their local mosque? Is it their town? Is it their city? And there are all kinds of interconnected types of identities at play. And to suggest that it all boils down to Islam, I think, is perhaps a little bit inappropriate, because that ignores all of the other factors that are involved, such as class, such as culture, such as status, such as an individual's ability to interact with their surroundings. And if that's not the case, if they're unable to do so, then they may find this poisonous ideology quite compelling. So I think it's right to say that we have to put more pressure on these communities to reject all forms of poisonous ideology. But it's a difficult thing to do. It's a really tough thing to do without creating more divisions, without creating deeper and more divisive, more violent divisions within society.
As you say, complicated issues. Simon, thank you very much indeed for joining us. That's Simon Mabon.
Thank you.